So recently, there's this movie called The Inside, where it's about this art thief that's trying to steal this art that this famous artist has. But unfortunately, he triggered an alarm that caused the whole house to lock down to the point where he has no way of escaping. And now he's trying to figure out how to escape the artist's house while dealing with starvation, dehydration, and a broken leg. And this movie was so intense. This movie's runtime was an hour and 42 minutes. And this movie was a very interesting movie, seeing the breakdown of Willem Dafoe's character as the art thief, as he is just mentally just being destroyed. As you can see, his physical health is being like decayed. You can just see the injuries of him as he's trying to break out of the house continue getting worse and worse and worse. And more times you can just see him just being annoyed and trying every time battling the elements that's in this house or this apartment, because while he triggered the alarm, he automatically mistakenly broke the thermostat. So there's half of the movie he's dealing with the heat, and then there's no water at the apartment. But then the other half of the movie he's dealing with the cold, which at first is kind of relieving because of the fact that it is that the whole house was like a freaking sauna. But now that he has to deal with the elements of the cold, now he's trying to get warm and stuff. And honestly, throughout the whole entire movie, this movie was more like a survival, and it was more of seeing the thief being caged up. So instead of Willem Dafoe going to prison, his prison was the actual like house. And we're just trying to see how he's able to break out of that and while he's trying to be free. And it was very interesting to see because the house barely had any food. So you see how Willem Dafoe's character, how he's just trying his best to try to make good on what he has to last long so he can figure out how to break out of the house. He can't break out of the windows because the windows, they were like very, very strong to the point where it's one of those strong windows that like even if you try to like break it with like an object, like a solid object, it won't even make a crack. Like it will just bounce off of it. And it was just a really, really like an extreme house where it's just like, yeah, so as soon as you're locked in, you can't get out. But luckily towards the end of the movie, we see Willem Dafoe, he's just like building this ladder. And as his mind continuously like starts to like going crazy, because this movie is just pretty much Willem Dafoe going crazy for no apparent reason. And honestly, it gives you more of a point of like if Willem Dafoe ever became a Batman villain, he will be Joker. Like he's making that strong case of like, yeah, like he should be Joker. But this movie is just all about Willem Dafoe. You do see some other characters, and I do like how they kind of explore on what he's thinking of or what he's dreaming of while he's in this house. And like I do like to see how he's trying to handle himself because he do get injured while he's trying to build a ladder as he breaks his leg. And it's time to the point where when he breaks his leg is when his body's like decaying because he's not really eating, he's not really getting enough water. So the injuries is like 10 times worse. So things are really not going in his favor at all. But I do like how this film is a psychological thriller and how intense it goes. And you can just see like each day, because it kind of specify that he has been in this apartment for probably months or days or weeks, however you want to see it, because there were some fireworks, then there were snow. There were just something that indicates that, like, yes, this man has been in this apartment for more than 1 week. So, other than that, the whole elements and everything else that Willem Dafoe had to challenge, the whole thing of him building this like large ass like ladder to try to like break out, it was just really interesting to see and how much like handmade tools that he had to do to try to like break out of the ceiling. And then towards the end of the movie, we do see him we're able to like kind of like break out at his last ditch effort. But it took him a long time due to the fact of that is that he kind of broke his leg after like in the middle of the seconds of trying to like break out, and then of course he has to have time for his like muscles to try to heal or try to find another alternative. But it just came to a point where he's just like, you know what, screw it, I'll go through the pain. And we see him able to like break through like the ceiling. So hopefully we don't see what's the end of the conclusion, we just see him like literally breaking out of the damn apartment. And that's just pretty much it. We don't know what his conditions is or anything else. Willem Dafoe, like how his character is, was just 100% crazy and bonkers. And like I said, this movie was just showcasing how Willem Dafoe is just being Willem Dafoe, as just being crazy at this moment. So if you want a person who wants to go crazy, just hire Willem Dafoe because he did his ass off while acting on this role. But other than that, let me know down in the comment section how you guys feel about this movie. Do you guys like this movie? I thought this movie was okay. I mean, it's a good movie for like an hour and 42 minutes, but it wasn't like, picture perfect. I honestly would just give this movie a 7 out of 10. Just to see like how like just want to see something like just really like psychological and thriller. But other than that, let me know down in the comment section how you guys feel about this movie. And if you guys do like the video, please give it a like, subscribe, and remember, always be decent. This is Mr. Monotone, and hope you guys have a wonderful day and be safe out here. Peace.